So we're not just going to detail it, we're going to build it.
We're going to test the difference in vacuum and also the difference in horsepower. 0 to 60?
He's going down.
100% stock, S&B, 6637. We did all the things of the 7.3. You ready for this? Let's go! Turbo shootout. Swap them back to back on the Dyno. I don't think we're going to make it.
You guys have seen that 7.3 over there, and it is by far the most reliable truck that we own. It was reliable 20 years ago. That 7.3 is still reliable today. Let's take this bad boy to the car wash.
I'd love to showcase our new KC300X Gen 3. Like, we'll do a little build on it.
Where do we start?
I want to do a build that's what maybe the average Joe would do. I think we push it, but not hard enough to get into the motor. It's got to make at least 500 horsepower for sure. The comment I saw #1 was resto mod. The trans isn't going to hold up. I mean, for fun, we could see how far we can push it. Let's see how far we can push the stock injectors. What happens if you just put an HPOP on it? You know, what stock fuel system? We'll dyno every step, maybe do a couple of 0 to 60s, couple of boosted launches, and see what it takes to get a true 500 horsepower. Have you ever driven 100% stock 7.3?
It's driving a liability is what it felt like.
Boosted launch going and...
Oh, pretty good. Oh, that tranny's not happy.
Man.
Oh, baby.
See if the trans makes a quarter mile. Are we doing quarter or 8?
We made it to 60. There's 8th mile already.
8th mile?
Oh, no.
Are we doing quarter?
We're almost at our quarter.
Okay.
16 seconds to the quarter.
For that 16 seconds, I really felt alive.
Oh, my God. All right, what's the good word on this one?
204.
204. 0-0 on the tune. Stock, spark, and everything.
All right, guys, those stock power numbers, they weren't so impressive. So we're going to do the easiest thing you can do to your 7.3 Powerstroke, put on a PHP Hydra.
Let's hop on the dyno and see what kind of performance gains we're getting out of just the Hydra tuner. 291.
291. Woo! Here we go. Oh, uh-oh. That didn't sound good. All right, we made it to 60.
Did we make it
There's
to
the
8?
8th mile. Let's see. Check my time on my watch. No, there's a quarter mile. It's still about the same. Another 16-second quarter mile. Oh God, that trans! I think the
there's like a 2 to 3 second delay on the trans. It is dropping ICP pretty hard.
Oh, geez.
That's probably honestly, the next upgrade we want to do.
Already?
To really show,
ICP. Well, so how do we fix that?
Injectors, HPOP, or both.
Yeah, okay.
So the high pressure oil pump is literally the heart of the 7.3 engine. It's what powers the HUE injectors, and HUE stands for Hydraulic Electronic Unit Injectors, or Hydraulically Actuated Electronic Unit Injectors. So one of the biggest things that we see people gloss over is not holding ICP, and it is huge on these trucks. So what we're going to start out by doing is putting in a new CNC Fab Stage 2 HPOP in this truck, and see how big a performance gains we can get on stock injectors by simply holding ICP. So from 204 to 311. Nice. Torque went from 416 to 691.
Hey, Charlie. Good guy. Found a stranger out front for you.
What's up?
Good morning.
Coming out.
Absolutely, man.
We are holding ICP better now. It's 2200, maybe 2004. We'll hit 3000, maybe 3100, but then no, it's like that. It flutters or it drops ICP and gains ICP. So we're hoping to just do a few dyno runs with you and see if you can help us figure it out.
Well, let's go on the van.
So I know it's a climb to get in and out of this thing.
If I start it too early and push it too hard, see how it gets that, and on the yellow one, it gets that just like drop off.
Right.
And then you can see that's like a smooth power. And once you get that drop off, it kind of comes back and it drops off and it comes back.
Very uneven.
If I start it later, like on this red one, it's pretty smooth throughout the whole graph. Or here's a green one where it started doing okay and it flooded a little bit and then it had a huge dip and drop off. You can see it in the ICP, but the IPR's not moving. You can see the IPR slowly. It's like 45 and then gets to 50 and it kind of hangs out around 50. But you'll see these huge dips and drops in ICP. Like the more pulse width you have, the harder you push it and the longer you push it, the worse that is. All right, so before we put the HPOP on, we were debating, is this HPOP? Is it injectors? And we're like, well, maybe the stronger HPOP will overcome bad injectors.
The situation that you're describing where you're seeing that flutter, that sudden drop in ICP without a change in IPR or anything like that, that's going to be probably more related to an injector issue. And one of the things that we've seen is once the injection pressure gets to a certain point, after a certain pulse width, we start seeing the inability of the solenoid to be able to maintain enough pull on the poppet to keep the pressure in the bottom end of the injector.
So as ICP goes down, now suddenly the magnet can overcome it again, sucks it back up, ICP goes up, and maybe it gets a little bit of
so it'll start bouncing,
But you're saying that our problem might be more related to the...
It's more electrical. We found that changing injectors solves the problem.
Do you think changing just solenoids might fix the problem?
I would almost bet that changing just the solenoids would. I don't think it's specifically an injector issue from the mechanical parts of that.
So your opinion, it's the injectors. And this truck isn't keeping stock injectors. We're going bigger 23880s and a stage 2 turbo. Right now it's stock turbo or stage 1 turbo. We did have this issue with the stock turbo, and then we put the stage 1 on there and it still had the same problem. So in your opinion, not IPR, probably not ICP, which we already checked, but you don't think it's that. You don't think it's HPOP. So if we put 23880s on there and the problem goes away, then that kind of confirms it was just something.
Well, it confirms that one, the HPOP is doing what it's supposed to do, and it's going to confirm that the injectors were the issue.
I don't have a favorite tuner. What I like to do, I just get one of each.
All tuners tune differently. All tuners tune based on their own preferences. I tune the way I like a truck to drive. Shifting is a very personal preference, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons people switch tuners is because the tuners cause the truck to shift differently.
So we got tunes from Andrew Arthur, but we do want to run some from Dan K. I'm going to get an email to him. Hold on a second. Oh, hey, buddy.
What's going on?
Andrew's here.
Andrew.
We just got done dynoing and we want to talk about the next mods we're going to do. Our goal was 500 to 550, so we're doing 23880s and a stage 2. Everything else is stock, so stock fuel pump, stock air filter, stock exhaust. Okay. I've dynoed trucks like this before with supporting mods, and I've seen as high as 550 to 570. Where do you think it's going to come in at? What do you usually see?
I think anything close to 5 would be a win.
You don't think it'll break 5?
If it does, it'd be surprising. I think right at 5 is right where most of them are at.
Here I come.
I don't know. I hear that a lot online, but I'll be disappointed if it doesn't break 500 horsepower.
Given the supporting mods that you don't have on there right now, I think 5 is a pretty fair number. They start doing the supporting mods, 550 to 575 is a much more realistic value.
Okay.
But you're going to have the air and the exhaust and the rest of that stuff.
We're swinging for the fences. Hopefully we don't snap a rod in half. We'll see. So yeah, let's throw some injectors in this thing and see what kind of power we can make now.
This thing sure jiggles a lot.
So, my mechanic loves to crank on the starter so long that it burns it up every time. He'll literally crank for 20 or 30 minutes trying to get the truck to start. But as a little trick, you could just use a little teeny tiny bit of ether. Don't run the glow plugs, but let's try it just for fun. Start cranking.
Good night.
And then it's good.
A little smoky.
It could take up to 10 to 15 miles before the injector is smoothed out and the idles go. I don't think you got any blow by. That's good for a 7.3.
Well, some blow the cap off.
I mean, that little tiny bit, I've never seen a 7.3 without. Right? That's pretty good for a 7.3.
Yeah, remember to water your engine.
Yeah, like 30 gallons of brake clean. $30.
Yeah, it cleans all your electrical connectors that are not full of oil.
You just break it open and just spray the whole engine.
What's the magic number?
485. I'm guessing he's dropping fuel pressure. We'll have to check.
Look at all that horsepower. Any better?
Gain horsepower by taking off the air filter.
Race car. If it sounds bad and you're scared, you know, maybe call someone, but it's not too much to be scared about. It'll run.
I don't want to blow it up, obviously, but yeah.
Well, kind of had to limp this thing back home. Whoops, I'll blame Charlie. But a little surprised the stock trans didn't hold up to like that 500 horsepower truck we had built. It didn't sound good. Please shift. Oh God. Oh, there it is. Oh, damn, that tranny. I guess not. So, let's go fix it. Now it's time for some fuel system upgrades. Call our buddies at AirDog. They're going to send us something, and we got a bunch of other supporting mods to do, along with some vintage forum mods that all you guys have known about for, you know, longer than I've been alive. So let's hop into it. We'll show you guys how it's done. Hutch and Harpoon mod. The thing we like most about the AirDog is its complete kit, comes with everything you need. It's got great instructions, and it's just really easy to install. Take some time, gotta drop the tank, gotta move some things around, wire some stuff in. It's absolutely a worthwhile installation for your pickup truck. All right, so that AirDog actually netted us pretty good, it looks like. Wasn't too bad to install, and looks pretty good, better filtration, there's tons of benefits. It also gained us 10 horsepower, so finally we hit the 500 horsepower mark. Not just at peak, but at redline, as that fuel pressure is falling off from a stock fuel system, I think we gained like 75 horsepower all the way out. So it's just carrying that fuel pressure a lot farther. While you're in the valley, you might as well replace some things, make it pretty. We decided, hey, we're gonna throw on billet plenums because, you know, they're sick, and an HPOP cover. Both of those are coming from Riff Raff, and they look pretty freaking cool. These plenums are less likely to crush since they're machined out of billet aluminum. This driven diesel regulated return system features high quality, custom machined fuel bowl delete block, high quality fuel lab bypass fuel pressure regulator, and offers you better pressure control for your fuel system. Probably wondering where that dyno graph is for the regulated return we were talking about, since, you know, it didn't make that much of a difference. You know, you don't have to take our word for it. We're gonna cover all that and more. We're gonna chop off that damn 30-year-old muffler that's full of rust and oil and dirt and all kinds of crap. I have a feeling that's gonna give us a lot of horsepower, and then we're gonna try downpipe. Oh.
I was extremely surprised.
See what that does. 5-inch downpipe, and we're gonna try that S&B intake. Jump. All right, after we got that AirDog installed and did a muffler delete, Andrew thought, man, there's gotta be more in there. It's gotta be that downpipe. He thought, well, let's try putting on a 5-inch turbo back exhaust. So that sounds hard. Let's just make him do it.
Oh, that's bigger than stock. Hands dirty.
I really miss this.
Some coffee. Give us the money. Yep. Yeah. That's.
I thought swapping to a bigger downpipe would make a difference, and it was nothing.
I will tell you, I was extremely surprised that
I was
it
also very surprised on the results.
almost made zero difference. Like, I thought we would get a little bit of flow, maybe better EGTs by just a little bit. Like, it was negligible.
I mean, cutting out the muffler,
That makes a
That made
difference,
a
absolutely, because it's a big restriction.
After we installed the 5-inch downpipe, we wanted to see what the intake was going to do. For all those earlier tests, we were just running with the airbox open. We put the airbox back together, put the stock filter back in, did really bad. So now let's throw in that S&B cold air intake and see what kind of difference sucking all that cold air from the front of your truck will make.
Now, live tuning, I've never actually done this before. So you are not, the Hydra chip is unplugged and you're connected right into the computer.
Connected right into the computer.
And when you say live, you can instantaneously make changes. We don't have to pull the chip, load a tune, put the chip back on.
It's a zero weight drive.
Wow.
So we're gonna make changes. It's gonna take effect immediately. You can make changes while you're driving. That's what makes it live. And of course, on a dyno, we're gonna get to see immediate results. Do you run on for load on the dyno?
But this one, I'm in third 85%. But if you did 85% on a stock truck, it would just bog down. It wouldn't go through. Those were good gains.
What do you think?
542, so we gained 14 horsepower. You want me to ghetto log? Not data log, but ghetto log.
No, I'm good. I can see. Well, you can do it. I can see from here. What I can see what I'm looking for from here.
Makes your butt pucker when that exhaust blows off. Wow. Yeah, that's the most peak power we've seen. You see the blue, how it just peaks up a little bit there. 3418 on the ICP and 49 IPR. Yep.
That's the smile test.
That is the smile.
That's the smile test.
Butt pucker test for me. Well, I mean, to be truthful, when we designed these turbos, I probably tested 100 different combinations, and we tested them with 180 30s, 205 30s, and 238 80s. All the turbos. Okay. And so I had a good idea of what this truck was going to run like before, because we've had other test trucks, but on those other test trucks, when we were making these turbos, from what we've tested in the past, we had to bump up all our recommended injector sizes.
Right.
The turbo spooled well, but they maxed out. Well, we studied the S. Yeah, it'll spin the tires.
Yes, all we needed was a driver mod. Remember what I was saying earlier about how don't drive other people's trucks? Yeah. Well, it's not anybody.
Andrew doesn't have that filter.
It's not. Technically, it's not anybody else's truck yet.
Not yet.
It hasn't been given away.
Okay.
This is an 8,700 pound truck. And we just blew the tires for 3 years.
Runs pretty good. It was scary from back here.
You'd never know this truck was capable of doing a burnout like that. Yeah. Most people will see this thing driving down the street and be like, oh, it's Grandpa.
He's one of the oldest drivers in America.
It's really impressive. That's T4 territory. For anybody that's ever been in one of these trucks that's modified like this, you don't get that out of a drop-in. It doesn't happen.
Put on an S&B, saw a huge gain. Kind of goes to show S&B's where it's at.
That grill is hideous, so let's replace it.
The Hydra holds 20 positions. There's a lot of benefit to the Hydra. We've got it in other videos, but it's 100% the gold standard. It doesn't have a huge monitor. So what do you do for a monitor?
Gotta watch it. Thankfully, shout out to our boys at Edge. They sent us the Street Diesel kit. Comes with engine oil temp monitor, EGT probe, the CTS3 Insight. Oh baby. EAS Street Diesel kit. Edge CTS3 Insight. Attention, thank you for purchasing Edge.
Be sure to register it. Because if you don't, I've heard that federal agents will come to your house.
FBI, open up! Come to your house, Frank. This was freaking sick. Super clean routing. Love Edge. Diac, gauges, logging, tuning, performance, EAS setting.
Whew. What about the 6637 filter? Well, we're gonna test it for you guys. 6637 hot air intake versus the stock air filter versus the S&B. Stage 2. All right, so we just did the S&B air filter, and one of the advantages of the S&B air filter is it does suck the air from the front grille area, but we haven't done the Zoodad mod on this truck. We're curious if that makes any difference on the dyno. It's really tough to simulate driving down the road conditions, but we got a giant fan up in front, and IAT still got pretty hot. So we're gonna do the Zoodad mod, repeat the test, and see if it makes any difference. But we'll start with a couple of holes just to increase airflow to the air filter. What? I can't hear you! Barely crack 100 that time, but I feel like you need to do 2 dyno runs in a row because it really gets the engine hot. But it's already dipping back down.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I think we were seeing like one, I'll have to look,
116,
but I think 116.
Almost. Yeah.
So that did make a difference. Let's see if it made any difference in the horsepower. Main thing is that it cooled IATs down, which will make a big difference when you're towing.
104 the second you let off.
Yeah, during the run it was 102 when I let off, maybe saw 104 for a second, and then it's already back down into the 90 range. Before it would just sat there at 118, just heat soaked. So, all right. I think when towing big up a hill, I'm gonna say Zoodad mod would make a big difference.
Yeah, KC Turbo's approved. All right, let's get this out of here.
We are hotter now before the dyno run has started than we were at the end of the dyno run with the S&B. We lost 12 horsepower. Down another 6 horsepower. This is the S&B versus the 6637, and that's a brand new 6637 versus an S&B that's been on there for a couple of months now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Guys, you wonder why we don't like the 6637 filter? They don't flow as good. They suck hot air. They create more vacuum. In fact, we've seen people have EGT problems towing, sucking intake boots closed, poor turbo performance, excess smoke. Throw that 6637 filter in the garbage, put a good filter on there, and it fixes everything. And the 6637 filter underperformed in every way.
Big time.
It was, when you overlaid the stock in the 6637 filter, you basically saw no difference. And that was with a stock, dirty, old air filter. That's busted. You may have seen a YouTube video. We were in a podcast where I said I didn't like it.
I hate that crappy 6637 generator paper filter.
Yeah,
this is why.
Roasted.
I got roasted in the comments from people that have never tested it, never ran anything different. But people latch on to those mods and they just never let them go for some reason.
What's next? What are we doing?
It's time to put it to the test on the street. 0 to 60 and 1/8 mile times.
Wheel spacers? Yeah, that's right. Go yourself.
I'm putting you under citizen's arrest.
We are going to torque it to spec, not the German spec of Guggenheit.
Wipers on, made it all pretty, super sick.
New mirrors.
Got some pizza and a hot dog. That was sick.
What we can do is see if those wheels made a difference in
power.
power.
See if it slowed us down. Go grab Charlie and I'll let him break this thing. Can you take me for another draggy run on the 7.3?
7.3 draggy time?
We need another fresh 0 to 60 with our friggin' sweet wheels and tires. You think we're gonna like blow them off, do a big burnout, or?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. Hopefully it doesn't hop and break.
Okay.
We got to beat Josh's time though.
Here we go. Come on. Woo! 378. Hell yeah! Yeah!
Still owe him $10.
Where's the money, dude?
Where's the money? I can't. Okay. Got it right here.
$10.
Josh, $10 says I can beat you 0 to 60 time. Easy in a crew cab 4x4 lifted truck compared to his regular cab 6.0. Yeah. Easy.
Do I detect a note of sarcasm? Are you kidding me? This baby is off the charts.
I think we'll be faster.
I don't know if we will. Let's move a crew cab.
Yeah, we're a lot heavier.
Lighter and had 100 horsepower more.
Yeah, and whatever, better training, better gear ratios.
So pretty.
How lucky are we?
Pretty nice. That's a great view.
Just nice.
Superstition.
Right. Draggy's working.
Extra 5 horsepower. Turn off the AC.
Reset. All right.
Ready?
Yep. Oh. Blew the tires off the back.
Let's make sure it's completely locked in 4-wheel drive this time.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in 4-wheel drive this time. Let's do it. Here we go. Oh, damn, this thing's pretty good.
Oh yeah!
0 to 60, 4.85.
Oh,
that's pretty good. This thing hauls, dude. 848 to the 8. Man, we're moving. Quarter mile, 1344.
I let out the 8.
Dude, this thing moves. I'm really surprised, actually. Dude, no pressure. Where are you at?
2,000.
Here we go.
2,500.
Oh, the tires off.
Oh, 2,500 is too much.
Yeah, too much. So there's a sweet spot. Probably like 22, 50. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, blew all 4 tires off.
That was impressive.
All right.
Ready to go.
It went really good. It felt really good.
Pretty good.
But it wasn't enough to beat Josh.
Yeah. So it was 484, 0 to 60, 8.48
in the
8th mile.
8.4 in the 8th mile is pretty good. I wonder what Wallace, pull up Wallace Racing horsepower calculator real quick. Cameron?
537.2.
537. We've been dynoing around 525 to 540. So that's right there where it should be.
Yeah.
Wasn't enough to get that 0 to 60 down. Granted, we're a crew cab, short bed, little lifted, a little different, but if we launched too hard, it would just spin all 4 tires.
We did a nice little 4-wheel drive burnout. It was sick. Yeah.
It's not as fast as Josh, but definitely faster than Cameron. We were talking about that while driving.
Faster than my truck?
Oh, it's definitely faster than your truck.
I don't know, man.
$10 says this thing still beats you. It's basically how all of our turbos are developed. We play on the dyno, go to the racetrack, we're always towing, going to the mountains. All right, how about a little bit of dyno chart racing, you guys' favorite thing? I think it's very clear that red, the 7.3, my truck is gonna dominate. Peak power, 545 at 2,700 RPMs compared to your measly 510 horsepower.
See, what yours does is it peaks and then it falls off. Here, actually, can I borrow it? Just real quick, just 2 seconds, I swear. All right, so as you can see, yours comes up hard, falls off fast. Mine, 6-liter, best engine ever made. Carries it all the way out to 4,000 RPM. Come on, man, that's where we're racing at, right here.
I haven't driven this since we put 238s and Casey Stage 2 on it. This is a lot better. I like this. Let's do a wide open throttle pull.
Nervous, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually really nervous.
I hope Cameron's ready for this. I think he doubts this 7.3. I mean, I'm a 6.0 fan too, but this truck turned out awesome. All right, start staging up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Come on, truck, come on! Oh, he smoked me, dude. Oh, not even close. I'm out of it, dude. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. That wasn't even close, guys. Oh, my gosh, dude. That thing's fast.
Round 2.
Holy hell. That was
Might have
something
jumped the
else.
gun just a little bit, or Cameron was sleeping, I'm not sure. All right, round 2, you ready? Stage up.
3, 4.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Now he's driving away. Bye, Charlie. 7.3's got me. That was woof.
All right, last time. You ready for this?
Let's go!
You're going down!
Going down, dude.
7.3 for the win! Ready? Stage up! 1, 2, 3, go! Oh!
Come on, truck, let's go! Come on, hold it! Hold it out, baby! Oh, he's calling me in. He's reeling me in.
Oh, you beat me! All right, 2 out of 3 is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I think I was sleeping a little bit on that one.
That was something else, dude. I got a way better launch on him that time, but dude, he was coming. And he was coming fast.
What did he say?
I need more power.
I'm a power, baby!
Boom! How'd you like that? 7.3 for the win. We destroyed him. Best 2 out of 3. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Cameron? Did you get destroyed or just barely lose? How do you feel?
I don't know, dude.
How do you feel
I feel
you
like
did?
I had you.
You never had me. You never had your car.
I feel like I did have you actually on the the last one.
Yeah, the first 2,
well, you were
I
just running
destroyed
me
you.
down. Yeah,
but
were
on that
just-
last one, I don't know if I was sleeping or.
I got a really good launch, you didn't, and then yeah, I just saw you coming, so it was like, this is.
I'm gonna be honest with you. For the last race, I put it in the tow tune.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks.
If you look at the video, you were starting to win, so I was like reaching down, trying to turn it back
we'll
up.
go with that. That's why.
Good race though. I will
was
say I was
good,
super
yeah.
impressed for just turbo and injectors.
That's pretty good.
Just basically stock except turbo injector and tune.
Head studs tune, yeah.
Tune, injectors, turbo, head studs off, lift kit, tires. Other than that. But you can build a 7.3 to outdo a 6.0. It just takes a little bit more in the 7.3, I feel like, to get there. We got a plethora of turbos, as many as we could. You guys mentioned in the comments a bunch of turbos that you wanted to see compared back to back. And today, over the next couple of days probably, we are going to swap them back to back on the dyno. Yeah.
Yep.
So what we're going to test is towing capabilities and max horsepower. So we're one by one going to swap them on the truck, do the test, and then swap the next one, do the test, 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 and then swap the next one.
And do the test. Hot swapping it. It's my favorite. Tony's going to love you. But we went out and found the most popular drop-in turbos over the last 10, 15, 20 years that guys have been running. And then essentially, we're going to put them against all of the new Gen 3 300X. And let's see how it all stacks up.
From here on out, we're not going to call any of these turbos by name. We're really not the kind of guys that go and call out other companies. I don't like the drama. I know some people do, but you'll see in all of our videos, that's not what we're about. So we'll call this turbo A, B, C, D, E, and F. So as we go through, it's going to be kind of confusing. We can go over specs, information, and data, but we're not going to call out the names of the company in the video. Sorry.
Yep. But if you think you can find out what these turbos are, go ahead, try. Put it in the comments below. Let us know. Maybe you're right. So, Charlie, Turbo A, what do we got here? This nice, beautiful blue guy.
All right, for reference, stock turbo is a 60 millimeter.
Okay.
This one is a 66 millimeter billet compressor wheel with a 4-inch inlet.
Okay.
Everything else is basically stock. Stock actuator, stock bearing housing, stock turbine housing, stock turbine wheel, stock outlet. The rest of it's stock. This is sometimes known as a D66, B66. There's a lot of 66 millimeters. This is basically what a lot of people have been making for 10 to 15 years.
Right.
We're not going to call it any companies, but there are a couple of variations of it. They usually come with the 8.4 housing, but some variations of it had a 1.0 housing.
You can get the big one? Okay.
Turbo B. It does have a slightly larger 63 millimeter compressor wheel. But other than that, turbo's basically stock, except whoever built it used like 7 different colors of spray paint.
This is a work of art.
I noticed that.
The cover is painted, the backing plate's painted, the bearing housing is painted a different color, the turbine housing is painted a different color, the stock old used actuators painted a different color.
And that was something I wanted to touch on too. This is a technically a used turbo. We had to send out a good core to get this one made.
Yes, this one we had to send out a good used turbo for him to make it into his turbo.
Yeah, modified drop it, which, you know, we'll see how it does. We'll see if the spray paint stays on. You think it's going to change colors? You know? Charlie, what do we got?
Turbo D, this is our new Gen 3 Stage 1 turbo.
What do we got? Something special prototype?
It is a new option we're going to be offering next year. We never stop innovating. We're still going, still trying. So we made a 9-blade Stage 2 turbo. This may or may not be an option next year, but we're going to throw it in here just to see what a simple change of a turbine wheel does.
All right, what are we starting off with?
Let's start off with Turbo A. We'll just go right down the line. A, B, C, D, E, F.
Hey, Tony, could you put that on for me? I know you're busy. Okay. All right, wow. Thanks.
It's a simulated towing test, so this has an eddy current brake on it, and you can add a certain amount of load. You typically use that to load the turbo for when you're doing a max horsepower dyno pull, but you can get an overdrive at 65 miles an hour and hit the load, and it's almost like simulating pulling a heavy trailer or going up a hill. It kind of like switches from driving an unloaded truck to pulling a trailer up a hill. So I'm going to add the load, which you can see is set at 75%. 100 would just be too much for the truck. All right, adding the load. We try to lug the motor down to where people typically try to tow at is like 65 miles an hour.
Those temps are creeping.
Yeah, they're creeping.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
We're already up over 1,300, but we are maintaining now.
Okay. 1360, there you go. We're back.
Yeah, we've hit the limit. This setup would not be able to tow right here.
Yeah.
If you downshift, which is what people typically have to do, you know, the EGTs will cool back down.
Yeah. We definitely have a boost leak somewhere. We're just at 5 PSI right now.
Charlie, is there a boost leak?
Yeah. There's a pretty large one.
Charlie's like a bloodhound when it comes to boost leaks.
This little boot right here. Right from the top side, oh yeah, it's fine, bro. It's totally fine. But if you reach your little thingies around back, you can feel the boot actually just rolled up.
Oh, not even
when he
on
went
the
to
plenum.
tighten it, so it's not on the plenum. After you fix your boost leak, you come back over to your Testorino unit and then just
See how slow it drops?
boost leaks can be kind of a huge hassle, like this one was. It was really annoying to fix it. It was the boot going from the spider to the plenum on the passenger side. But after we fixed it, no more boost leak.
That's not going anywhere.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Charlie, that was a lot of information. Who are my winners?
Reader's Digest version of the test. Peak power winner, Turbo F.
Turbo F, yeah.
Max power at Redline, Turbo F.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Most boosts and coolest EGTs on the race tune, Turbo F.
Turbo F again, man.
Best towing would have been Turbo D.
Okay.
Turbo D made
yeah,
18 pounds of boost and 1,091 on EGT. So you could tow like that all day, every day. The truck would be very happy. Turbo D was the smallest of all the turbos in every way, and it got third for power. The clear winners to me, Turbo F, Turbo D, and in third place for me would be Turbo E. Last place would definitely be Turbo A, all around. Second to last place for me would be Turbo B. Least amount of power, least power at Redline.
Hurt itself on the dyno
Hurt itself on the
testing.
dyno testing. It did okay towing, but it's barely bigger than stock. It was a barely modified turbo. It just a slightly larger compressor wheel, stock turbine, stock housing, stock bearing housing, stock bearing, stock. It was basically stock turbo with a slightly larger billet wheel. So last place to me, Turbo A and B.
Yep.
First place, Turbo F. Second place, Turbo D.
Yeah.
Third place, Turbo E. And C was, it was okay.
It was fine.
It was incredibly loud.
Yeah.
Stage two 238-80s can't tow.
We're gonna show you guys how it's done, I guess.
Load it up.
So it makes 550 horsepower, but can it tow? So something interesting about Arizona, a lot of people think of it as a desert, but
yeah,
we've got mountains. We
the
are
nastiest hills, honestly, I've ever seen, and I've driven, so have you, all across the country.
We are just starting the towing test. We are super excited.
Yeah.
We are starting off first with Turbo A. I'm going to tell you, it's just a D66.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 66 millimeter wheel. You can add a cover and a wheel to your stock turbo. People have been doing them for a decade. We used to sell something similar 10 years ago called the KC66.
Yeah.
There's a reason we stopped selling it, and you're going to see why in just a few minutes. We're going up a very consistent light grade.
Long, light grade.
That actually is some of the tougher hills to pull because you're not really in the throttle super hard and you want to go into overdrive, but so far at this hill, it's not like an overdrive.
Yeah, no.
It starts to creep up. For fun, I'm going to get up to like 70 miles an hour and see if it'll hold 70, because it won't hold 60 in overdrive. Let's see if it'll hold 70 miles an hour in overdrive.
Yeah, we got a little downhill coming up right here too that we can build up some speed on. Let's see if she'll hold it.
Well, that was only 65, but yeah, EGT's got up over 1350.
We're good.
All right, going for it.
All right, here we
Hold
go.
on. 7.3 power!
Yeah, this is the daily driven part of our tagline. This is what we do. We test our turbos.
We do this. A lot of people don't realize this is not too far from our shop.
Really nasty.
We build trucks and setups and test them. People ask, how do you guys know if they tow?
Oh, we know.
Test them.
We drive this road and it makes it. Woo.
3 days later.
All right, guys, we're back.
Here we go. You saw how the D66 did. I wasn't impressed.
It towed, but you really had to downshift. Basically, overdrive became useless unless you were going downhill.
Yeah.
If you just rode in third gear at 2,600 RPMs, that's when some guys say, well, it
can tow.
Even with bigger, I'm not going to T4 bash here, but I see guys with like 369s or 472s and they say it
can tow.
That's what it means by it can tow.
Can tow.
But does it tow great?
No. Oh, they're creeping.
They're creeping.
Slow.
We'll see if they level out, but that's towing at 1,600 RPMs going up a hill.
That's pretty good.
It's at 1150. That's 1,400 RPMs towing up a hill. Not going very fast, but the D66 would not have done that at all. On the way up, it would not do this in overdrive.
Oh.
We have crested at 1190 and it's actually going back down.
Oh yeah. 1,900 RPM, that's pretty good.
How do you like using overdrive for towing?
Oh, that's nice. And that's kind of the argument for why all modern trucks just keep adding more and more and more gears to the tranny.
You can just keep it right in the sweet spot.
4 to 5 to 6 to 10 to 6 to 8 to 10. And I'm sure someone will come out with a 12 or a 14.
That exhaust and stuff. Wow. All right, guys, bad news. Huge exhaust leak. We didn't really notice it until we got into the hills and we're pulling, but you could really hear the sound of the exhaust fluttering. I'm not gonna say it invalidated the test, but it definitely didn't help the turbo. But we will not have time to retest this turbo. We could either retest this one or switch to the stage one.
I say stage one.
I say we put the stage one on, test it.
We're back.
We got the stage one in here, and we're gonna go tow the exact same route we just did with the stage two with the giant exhaust leak.
Whoops.
But it's now like 10 degrees hotter out.
It's pretty tough.
Truck's been heat soaked all day long, but we did it. It's towing way better. It
feels easier to take off.
tow it.
Like sitting here, I'm like, oh, okay, this.
You won't have to worry about gear shifting as much. It just makes more boost sooner, which is where most people struggle to tow. So I'm super excited to see how this does. We're coming up on some of those bigger hills.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to pull them all in overdrive and see if we can handle it.
I think it can
D66.
No way, Jose.
Stage two. It kind of did. It did pretty
You
good.
could do it though.
It did pull all the hills until the end when we had to floor it up the hill from a dead stop. It just never could cool back down. Stage one, it's a towing monster. It just does so good down low. very little effort to make a lot of boost, basically. And that extra boost cools down the EGTs, keeps your engine nice and cool, less smoke, and tows better, makes more power. Now the stage 1 will fall off after a certain horsepower when you're really pushing it hard, but when towing, there's basically no downside.
Nothing better.
This is the ultimate towing turbo. I have never towed in anything that towed as well as this thing does.
No way.
You can just lug the motor and just go up these giant hills and not even have to worry about it. I mean, if you downshifted into third, you could have pulled that hill at probably 850 degrees EGTs.
Oh,
you don't have to do an overdrive. But we wanted to see if it could do it in overdrive, and it did. The stage 1,
So impressive.
best towing turbo in the whole world. I'll call it. I'll test every turbo out there. I put this up against anything you guys can come up with. Stage 1 is a towing monster.
Game on. Charlie's calling you out.
Calling you out.
Yeah, send
Let's
us your
do it.
best turbo.